Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and as usual we'll be doing an analysis on Eurusd. Going into the following week, we'll be seeing possible market scenarios that could play out and give us setup to trade. So before we go into that, let's quickly review what price did last week. So this is the weekly chart, and last week we said that if we see price breaking above a fair value gap on the daily chart, this particular gap to be a trigger for us to buy the market to this level, as well as this weekly fair value gap and ultimately this fair value gap. And price did respect our predictions and gave us decent opportunity to get some fine setup to trade in the market last week. So this was our price move on Monday. We saw this close above this fair value gap we talked about, and it was a trigger for us to buy the market to this point, and ultimately this point. Let's go to the 15 minutes chart and see how price moved. So this is the 15 minutes chart, and when price opened on Sunday, you saw this gap that it created. Price opened here, gap to this point, consolidated, came right into the gap, traded out of it, consolidated again, going into New York session. We saw this consolidation, and Asian session, then London session again opened on Tuesday. We saw this expansion. The price retraced right back into this fair value gap or imbalance that was created in the new London session, and reacted from this order block and pushed price further into our second target. This was the first, which was hit during the New York's London open session. Then it was the first weekly fair value gap, our second target, and ultimately this was our third target that price traded into all through the Asian session. So price trading into it all through to New York session. Then we saw this consolidation, and then Thursday's trading, we saw this choppy market scenario, which I talked about in our last video because it was an NFP week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you see good setup to trade, you take it, and we saw trade beautiful setup. I showed you on our weekly review. Go and watch that video, you'll see where I talked about it. Then going into Friday, you saw price retraced a bit, but you saw how this weekly fair value gap acted as support and price consolidated a bit. We saw this decent price action from the Asian session, and then going into NFP, this choppy scenario experienced on Thursday continued, and the NFP dropped here 8:30 a.m. New York time, and you saw this consolidation again. So that was last week's trading. So what are the possible trading opportunities we're going to get going into this week? So we do our top-down analysis starting from the weekly chart. So I'll quickly take out these from the chart. Right, look at this price leg that came from here to here, this bearish move. First of all, you'll notice that price has traded down, but no meaningful retracement back into this price leg to give us a continuation downwards. We have seen how price has broken out of this consolidation and traded into this zone here. Seeing how price has traded into this zone here. This is an order block on the weekly time frame, and we see that price closed below the 50% points of the order block, right beyond the midpoint of it. So by implication, what this might mean for us, first of all, consider the fact that this bearish leg here have not seen any meaningful retracement back to give us another opportunity to keep selling the market. So by implication, if we see this weekly order block holding, right, if we see a reversal from this zone, this is the daily chart, downwards, right, to be a cue for us to sell this market. That means the bearish leg from here to here is just a confirmation, and we'll see price continue trading downwards. Like price trade did this first leg, second leg, and just continue trading downwards. So back to our weekly chart. If we see price respecting this bullish move and we see a continuation, then most likely we can see price trading into this fair value gap here. Then ultimately we will still see price trading to take the institutional liquidity resting above this level. So these are the possible market scenarios that we can see playing out in this pair. Let's go over it once again. Let's go back to the daily chart. Again, we can see price maybe trading into these gaps, right? So if this gap is respected, we could see a continuation of that bullish move. Price respect trading into this one and coming off it, then we could see price trading back into our zones on the weekly charts. But if these zones are disrespected, especially if this first one is disrespected, then it could be an indication that the bearish move is just a continuation downwards, and we expect price to trade ultimately into this zone to take liquidity there. To take liquidity there, but this point there's liquidity here, as well as here, then here. So these are the possible market scenarios that could play out next week. So on the 4-hour chart, you can see break structure, come back to this zone, trade below this daily fair value gap, then could be an indication to sell this market to this point ultimately. So these are the possible market scenarios that we can see play out on both sides of the market. Remember, we are thinking in probability. You understand? The market can do anything, but most likely these are the possible scenarios that you can see playing out in this market. So let's look at the economic calendar. Let's see what's up for next week. So this is Sunday. We don't trade on Sunday. Monday there is no red folder news, so you can expect the market to be still that day. On Tuesday we have a red folder news, JOLTS job opening. Wednesday CPI, so you have to be careful. CPI is brutal, just be careful, don't try to trade the news. Then Thursday core PPI, then Friday on this GBP pair you have this GDP news, then 2 p.m. you also have the red folder news. And again, one thing you should note, because of this bullish expansion we've seen in price, you can see consolidation a bit on the lower time frame before we'll get that expansion upward or downward that we could be looking for in price. So this is my outlook for Euro USD going into this week. So if you find value in the content that I have dropped, I want you to support this channel by subscribing to it, like our videos, also leave a comment for us. Then we have a Telegram channel where we share free trading signal 24/7, both on the indices, synthetic indices market, as well as the Forex market. I'll drop the link on the description of this video, so I hope to see you there. Stay blessed and do enjoy your weekend. God bless you all.